Food for Thought with Professor David Ndete.
Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to another episode of Food for Thought with Professor Ndete. This is where we talk about mental health issues. And the key thing that we want to achieve in this show is to create awareness where mental health issues are concerned. We are living in a generation where a lot of people are going through mental health issues, and we still have stigma attached to mental health issues, and so many people are not free enough to come and talk about what they're going through. You know, just the other day, last week but one, a friend of mine committed suicide. And this is the kind of person who you look at, strong personality, go-getter, you know, they're always full of life. And then you hear they committed suicide and you wonder how. Apparently, they had sunk into depression. And as it is many times with people who, you know, are the life of the party, we always assume they are okay, but sometimes they are not. So that's why this program is very, very important, so that we can create awareness. Professor Ndete, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to come to your office once again.
Always welcome, anytime.
Today I want us to talk about OCD, as people call it. This is Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. What is OCD?
OCD is what the words say. Obsessive means basically preoccupation that is in your head. You might be sitting there, or I might be sitting there, and I have my own thoughts, things that are happening in my mind, and they are troubling me, and I have no control over them. So that's what the bit of obsessive. Then compulsive is how you express them outside, so that we can actually see what is happening, what you are doing. It may be usually, if you express things, you express them through motor actions, rather than not just feelings, but through motor actions. So it's basically that. Things that go on in the head, they have a certain pattern. They may stay in our heads. We don't share them with anybody. We want to keep them secret. But the others, we cannot hide because they express themselves out and we can see them. That's basically what it is.
So how does this present? What are the kind of things that you would see in someone and begin to think maybe they have this condition?
It has very many forms. And as much as we cannot limit human activities, we cannot limit different ways and the multiple ways that obsessive, now we are talking about expression, they can present. And the commonest one is repetitions. Repetition that we can see. That we can see, and we can say this person keeps on repeating the same thing all the time, and it does not make sense. They come in different times, in different types, in terms of the severity and expression, and also in terms of the drama with which they present. A good example, which I like giving, is an example that I lived through and watched when, as a student, living the doctor's mess in UK. We had this doctor from India, and we couldn't sleep because he kept on opening doors all the time.
At night?
At night. I mean, you keep on doing that. And you know, doctor's room as trainees will be simple rooms, and so you can know what is happening with your neighbor. And he kept on opening the doors, and then somebody said, well, I think we are not sleeping. It is affecting us. I don't think this man, this doctor from whatever, is doing that deliberately. So why don't we just have a word with him? And something that had been going on for months before somebody decided to intervene. You know, you live in a situation where you, I mean, in an environment or culture where really what happens to your neighbor is none of your problem. They can do whatever they want to, but it had gone far too far because it was disturbing other people.
So what was his reason for opening the door?
This is what I'm going to tell you.
I'm very curious.
So when we talk, his name was Majunda, and Majunda, of course, is a common name. I mean, if I talk about Ndetei, or maybe not a very, or Motizo, or Kamau,
yes.
1,000 Kamaus.
Yes.
So this Dr. Majunda would keep on opening the door. So we asked him, what has been going on? Then he decided to open up for the first time. He said, I have this compulsive feeling that when I board the door to go and sleep, something comes into my mind that I did not do it. So he goes to board it repeatedly, of course putting the lock, repeatedly, and in order to make noise.
Yeah.
He repeatedly do that. And in his mind, he knew that it was abnormal. It was not like him, but he didn't want to tell other people because he felt he might be ridiculed, and he didn't want that. So you keep on opening the door, checking, and then he says, yes, I am sure I have locked the door. But how sure am I? So you would go back to the door, this time, just to check, with a piece of paper and a pen. You lock it and say, I certify to myself that I have actually locked the door.
So he's writing to himself?
Yes, I certified to myself that I have actually locked the door. And then you go back to his bed and look at the writing. Then you say, how sure am I? I can't be sure I'm the one who certified myself.
Oh, really?
Yes, and you do that for all night. That was a very dramatic presentation. These things do happen, and they also occur here. We see it. It's not very common here. Maybe where I was working, it was a referral hospital. People will come with these. I mean, it was. I'm not talking about the doctor. I'm talking about general population. Maybe people are more alert. That's awareness. People are more alert and they recognize these things. Now here we see it, but maybe about 2% or something like that. And these are data that we have been able to collect. But many doctors only see those who have come to see them. Out there in the community, many people will be living with these problems. It could also take the form of somebody washing themselves, washing hands. And they keep on washing hands, and they use Dettol. They use all kinds of things until they cause themselves corrosion because they think they are not clean. They need to kill those bacteria, and they will keep on washing and washing. If it is washing clothes, they will wash the clothes so repeatedly because they think they have not washed it adequately. And so you may get a person who takes a bath or goes to wash several times
a day.
Several times in a day. And it can cause a lot of problem. By this time, people will be seeing that there is a problem. It can also take the position of, say, this glass or this gift from one of my students, place it there. And then I look at it, no, it's not properly placed. I turn it this way.
It's not properly aligned.
It's not properly aligned.
Yes.
I look at it, no, it should be this way. Oh, it should be this way. And this thing would preoccupy me so much that I would keep on changing the position of this object on my table. So it can take all these different types. And you also see it in homes. I'm sure very many housewives, and I'm not attacking it. So it can take very many different forms.
You know, when you talked about the doctor, he had an understanding that this is an issue.
Yes.
So do the people who have this condition, do they understand that it's not normal?
Yes, I'll tell you how it happens. They have insight. What it means is that they know what they are doing. And of course, we are talking about a continuum.
Yes.
We are very small where you think is normal, but then it may reach a stage where it's not normal. We talk about human behavior where there's a certain kind of a curve. If it lies with using a technical term to that outreach or that out on the other side, we say it's normal. There are things we call standard deviations. When it reaches a stage where it is causing a problem to the person or causing problems to other people, then that's when we say it is abnormal.
Okay.
Yes.
So do we have extreme cases and mild cases?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, most of them are mild. And I would imagine that as we continue understanding certain behaviors, more subtle behaviors, we may reach a stage where we can actually say, yes, these things have been there for a long time, but we thought they were normal. But with increased knowledge, they are not quite normal.
Yeah.
They need intervention. Actually, these days, even in psychiatry, we do not talk so much, or really the gist, the thrust of research. It's not so much about how you treat a condition. Is much about how you recognize at the earliest possible time and they put intervention. They say intervention is always better than treatment.
Okay.
Yeah, but the question was, do they know? Yes, that is when it is reached that peak, when it's causing disturbance in them and causing disturbance to other people. Yeah. Then they know this is not normal. But the problem is they
don't know how to stop.
They cannot stop.
Wow.
And the more they try to stop it, the more they get distressed. So it can actually cause disability.
Really?
To a person. Yes, if you can't sleep because all the time you are locking the door. You can't stay in a house because you can't go to people's homes, and then you spend all your time criticizing the way they do their homes or the way people do their curtains. And it's only, I think it's only women, female maybe, they are wonderful people. Maybe they see details that we don't see. Yes, yeah. And they also know it is not a problem of somebody outside.
Oh.
It is within.
It is within.
It is me and it's not people surrounding me. As opposed to other types of illness where people will be very sick.
Yeah.
They don't know that they are sick. And if people tell them that they are sick, then it's not him, it is them.
Okay. That's all the time we have for Food for Thought with Professor Ndete. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Once again, remember, you can find all these episodes on our YouTube channel. Look for Family Media on YouTube. Go through them. We've recorded quite a number. I think we started doing Food for Thought with Professor Ndete just when COVID hit. So you can imagine how many episodes we've done. And all of them have got vital information to create awareness about mental health issues. So go on YouTube, share them with friends and family, have them look at some of the conversations we've had. Until next week, when we pick up this conversation again, have a great weekend.
Food for Thought with Professor David Bittet.
Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notified whenever we upload new fresh content every day. Stay tuned and enjoy fresh, uplifting content.